might be the craziest story we have seen all day. Dozens of employees at 3 Square Market in River Falls, Wisconsin, they're going to get microchips implanted in their bodies. This is the first company in the country to do anything like this. The chip is the size of a giant grain of salt. It gets implanted under the skin between the thumb and the forefinger. It looks like the chip you put in your dog. The chip implant uses the same technology as mobile payments like Apple Pay. You can do things like buy stuff from the break room. You can log into your computer, access the building without having to carry around your key card. 3 Square Market says the chip does not track people, but there are possible privacy concerns for the future. The company's CEO says those chips do have the ability to store medical and health information.
We have wearables, things like the Fitbit. We have embeddables. We have implantables, things like diabetic pumps, for example, internet-enabled defibrillators implanted in our chest, so implantable defibrillators, pacemakers, and the like. We have brain-computer interface, and now we're even creating pills that are internet-enabled so that you can swallow a pill, goes into your stomach. The pill's computer is powered by your stomach acid, and it can control the release of medicine, how much medicine is released over time. So we are slowly but surely becoming cyborgs. So slowly but surely computers are replacing our own cognitive abilities to an extent. The next step, of course, will be implanting these devices into us. There are people, several researchers, including one out of Cambridge in the UK, that have implanted RFID chips underneath their skin for years. These people are called body modders. It's sort of underground these days. It's sort of the next generation of piercing, right? There's a whole community around piercing and tattooing, and the next generation of that is to implant these computer devices in our skin, under our skin, that give us new forms of senses. There are hundreds of thousands of implantable medical devices in human beings in the United States and around the world today. That number is going to grow exponentially as they become more powerful. Brain-computer interface computers, such as cochlear implants, are growing. For the more computers that we put in, there's no special exemption for medical devices that makes them unhackable. In fact, medical devices are entirely hackable. Going back 4 or 5 years, the Medtronic pacemaker, the automatic defibrillator, was proven by the University of Massachusetts Amherst to be hackable, where remotely you could go ahead and deliver a shock to somebody's heart, to somebody's perfectly functioning heart, a shock that would cause a well-functioning heart to go into cardiac arrest. We've had hackers on stage exploit these devices, one famously done with a Bluetooth cannon, basically a Bluetooth extender that could allow somebody from a distance of a few hundred feet find people who had diabetic pumps, right? These are pumps inside their bodies that feed insulin on a very controlled basis into the human body. And with this Bluetooth cannon, you could take a few weeks of insulin and release it in an hour, causing somebody to go into a diabetic coma and therefore death. In the old days, if you were hearing impaired, they would kind of create a hearing aid that you'd wear inside your ear. Now they can actually attach a device directly to your skull and wire it into your auditory nerve directly into your brain. So there is an interface between a computer on your body and your brain via the auditory nerve. And it's controlled, again, via Bluetooth. So think about this. The Bluetooth hacks are incredibly easy to carry out. There are many, many known exploits. You can download apps that will do Bluetooth exploits. And so if somebody's wearing this type of hearing aid, I could subvert that. I could make sounds and noise into their auditory nerve via a hack that nobody else would hear. I could make them think that they're going crazy, right? You can do all different types of terrible things. And you may be thinking, why would somebody do this? Right? Only a truly sick person would do this. And I'm sad to say there are some people like that in this world. I go back 5 or 6 years to a case that I cite in the book from the National Epilepsy Foundation. For people who may not be aware, epileptics have to guard themselves against sudden, bright, flashing lights that can cause them to go into grand mal seizures. And somebody 5 or 6 years ago hacked the National Epilepsy Foundation website. And so when epileptics went to their website for information, rather than seeing the Epilepsy Foundation's webpage, what they saw was a bunch of flash code, blinking, blinking, blinking really fast in their eyes. And several cases of grand mal seizures were recorded as a result of that hack. So unfortunately, there are some people in this world who do things like that and harm others for no other reason than for the kick. mix of it all.